Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why the Minnesota Twins should trade both Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez this offseason. I know this is going to be pretty unpopular, but I think it makes a lot of sense for several reasons. Let's begin by talking dollars and cents. The Athletic's Dan Hayes said he won't be surprised if the Twins set their 2026 payroll around the $100 million mark. If the front office tenders a contract to all arbitration-eligible players and retain everyone under team control for next season, the projected salaries work out to be around $95 million. That sure doesn't give Derek Falvey and Jeremy Zoll much, if anything, to work with, despite some very clear needs on this Twins team. Lopez and Ryan, between them, figure to eat up about 30% of that theoretical, self-imposed payroll limit. Eliminating, call it $30 million from the books, will allow for some pretty interesting pickups to at least be possible. Now, this is important because 2026 will be a year of transition for the Twins. As it stands, they have virtually nobody they can pencil in at the back end of their bullpen. The hitters, aside from Byron Buxton, Matt Wallner, and Ryan Jeffers, they just haven't consistently hit. There are some gaps there. The hitting core does figure to be bolstered in 2026 at some point by Walker Jenkins, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Kalen Culpepper, as well as Gabriel Gonzalez. But, as Twins fans are well aware, even top prospects sometimes take a while to figure it out at the big league level. Let's be honest too, some never actually figure it out or don't sustain it. Because of this, there's a really wide range of outcomes around the offense, and that makes it challenging to feel good about even pretending to be all in next season. So if we assume the Twins aren't all in, well, that does make things a little bit tricky. It almost makes too much sense in that situation to not trade Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. With 2 seasons of team control remaining, and the next window of contention likely beginning in 2027, possibly 2028, the Twins should be able to get a haul for their 2 star pitchers. Ryan, in particular, could fetch a similarly talented pre-arbitration hitter in a challenge trade. Or he could also net them multiple top 100 prospects and probably some lottery tickets to boot, should the Twins front office prefer to further deepen an already impressive farm system. Now, Pablo Lopez is a little bit more expensive, making $21 million next season, and he's also perhaps slightly less talented than Joe Ryan at this point, so the return there would be a bit less, but still noteworthy. He would figure to be one of the best starting pitchers available in the offseason. Now, aside from maximizing the return the Twins would receive in trade, it is important to acknowledge that the Twins will also have a bit of a starting pitching logjam. With Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Ober at the front of the rotation, there's not a ton of room for the sort of established starters to get consistent run. And there's no room for the top prospects really at all. Aside from those 3, there are fully 9 guys that the Twins will likely want to give some significant innings to. In the short term, 5 of them have very little to prove at AAA. First, you have those 5, right? Varying levels of success, varying levels of service time. Taj Bradley, Mick Abel, Zebby Matthews, David Festa, and Simeon Woods Richardson could fill a full rotation on their own. Each of these guys, in any given start, could look like an ace, or look like someone who has no business on a major league roster. But the only way to really figure out what the Twins have with them, they got to start consistently and with the Twins until they show that they are just not starting pitchers and need to be converted. Further down in the farm, the Twins have 4 other intriguing hurlers in Connor Prelip, Andrew Morris, CJ Culpepper, and Marco Raya. Each of these 4 may be destined for relief, but all still have a puncher's chance to continue starting games, and really all of them should see action with the Twins in 2026 and beyond. Further away in the pitching pipeline, there are another few guys that currently look to have the potential to be above average starters. Charlie Hill, Charlie Soto, Dason Hill, and Ryan Gallagher, who was the return for Willie Castro, probably won't be up before 2027 at the earliest, but they will need space. So that's 12 guys behind Bailey Ober. Now, almost certainly, the Twins will convert some, maybe even several, of those 12 into relievers. After all, that is how the Twins got Yoan Duran, Griffin Jax, Brock Stewart, Louis Varland, not to mention some of the bigger guys in Twins history like Glenn Perkins, Taylor Rogers, really all of the elite guys. They started out as starters, couldn't cut it, converted to the bullpen, and excelled. But here's the thing. There's no reason that the Twins should feel forced to convert guys to relief just so that there's space for them on the roster. So it really does make sense to free up a couple of those spots in the lineup. Now, the last thing that I want to say is that as a baseball fan, it's going to hurt to see Ryan and Lopez go. Both are excellent pitchers. Both of them are fun to watch. The Joe Ryan experience is like must-see viewing every time he takes the bump. Losing them, there's no other way around this, right? It's going to inarguably make the 2026 Twins team just worse. But with the Pohlads as owners, it's clear that it's going to be business as usual, and the only way that the Twins are going to be able to field a consistently competitive team is to do so on the cheap. When you do have two pitchers that are even a little bit replaceable, don't factor into the long-term plans, and can net you a wealth of talent that can help form the next and hopefully successful core, you almost have to make the tough decisions that can help you win long-term. So for those reasons, I do believe that it would be almost irresponsible for Derek Falvey and co. to not trade Joe Ryan as well as Pablo Lopez in the offseason. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out Twins Daily, twinsdaily.com. Feel free to leave a comment.